Shalom. Giving all praise to my Heavenly Father. His name is Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shah by Hashem Kahakadash. The most honors to the apostles and elders that rule well. Peace, many salutations to Yakyam that's toiling his truth. Now I got to listen to old Alton Johnson live show in regards to Christian nationalism. And he did a review on Corey of the Be Smart, Smart Christian channel, and Joe Webbin of the white, I believe, right wing ministries, something to that nature. Excuse me if I'm saying it wrong. He's a pastor down here in Texas in Georgetown. That's an area that's very close to Austin. And Corey interviewed this gentleman and, asked him about, several clips that, were inflammatory or racist or whatever you want to say. And the reaction that really sparked me to do this sit down is Alton's reaction towards Joe's statement in regards to slavery. Joe basically stated that, in a very subtle way that slavery was not that bad. It wasn't that bad. And for one to think that, of course, him being white, he would have to, believe that he's superior to you so-called Negroes, okay, which are the true biblical Israelites, so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, for him to make that argument. And this is not a fight in regards to winning somebody over to your ideology. It's not just that, you can be diplomatic all you want to, in regards to dealing with these people. A lot of these so-called white people, which are biblically speaking Edomites, what we're dealing with is something that's very spiritual. Okay. So we're wrestling not against flesh and blood, but against spirituality. Okay. Let me get this for you guys. Now, this is Ephesians 6. And I like to get straight to the point, but if I can't find it, then, oh yeah, here we go. I found it. Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. That word principalities, when you look it up. Principalities.
Strong's G 746. Arche.
It says beginning, origin, the person or thing that commences, the first person or thing in a series, the leader, that by which anything begins to be the origin, the exact cause, the extremity of a thing, of the corners of a seal, the first place, principality, rule, magistrates of angels and of demons. So we're dealing with very high, high level of, spiritual characters in this whole dichotomy of white versus black. Okay. Not necessarily the color, but the people because who has been deemed white or black, you know, it's the people over here in the US. Okay. Right now, that's a social construct, that was made by Esau Edom. But the people that have endured, this racism, of being called black, which is a neo caste system, are the true Israelites, right? We're seeing Jacob versus Esau being played out before our eyes. Okay, this is why there's an unrelenting hatred that's embedded in a lot of these so-called white people, which is not a color thing. This is not a color thing. This is just a spiritual thing, right? And that spirit manifests into lineage and things of that nature, right? That was set up at the beginning. Okay, the principalities, right? This dichotomy was set up at the beginning, man. Okay, this is what we're seeing come into fruition when we see this whole, you know, concept of race and race talk, you know what I'm saying? And I hate the whole concept of white and black because that's not what we're about, right? You have so-called white people that profess the same thing that we profess, and even if they don't profess what we profess, they're Israelites, okay? Right? But I don't want to digress too much because that's a whole nother conversation. See, there is people that's on the earth that's set up to be wicked, right? That have done very, very wicked and heinous things. Okay, and their posterity condones these wicked things, and it's bigger than it's just racism. It's just a man's flesh. No, the Most High set this man up, for this very cause to be against us, man. Okay, the Most High is control of everything. Okay, so understanding that yes, you do have an enemy, and this conversation in the Christian church is not going to go anywhere. In fact, it's going to become more inflammatory. It's going to become way more inflammatory as it gets very, very, very bad out here. See, what we don't see going on in the Christian church is prophecy, the pushing of prophecy, because it's about to get very bad out here, man. Okay, and you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, you're not going to be safe in a lot of neighborhoods. Why is that? Oh, because of racism. The devil know it's bigger than that. The Most High set this economy up. Okay, so you need to know, a lot of you guys, your fellow church members, or even your church partners, or have or various churches that you partner with to worship with and come together with. Guess what? It ain't gonna mix in that day, man. Okay, back to the scriptures. Ephesians 6 and 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against the powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take up you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand in the evil day, having done all to stand. Understanding, understanding these scriptures, it's going to be very important. Understanding the will of the Heavenly Father is going to be very important. Understanding that, guess what? Nations must rise up against nations, right? And before race was made, it was about nations and nationalities of people. Now, all so-called black people are the same, right? But they have these individual uh, black and white nations, right? They have their own nations, us and and a lot of that so-called African people, we're not the same people, right? We're not the same people. We have a different lineage. Okay, they are Hamitic. We are Shemitic, right? The whole excuse me, the whole continent of Africa. They don't consider themselves the same people. Even within Africa, there's thousands of languages, right? Thousands of tribes. You have certain people in Africa, they don't consider themselves the same. The Ethiopians don't consider themselves the same as Nigerian. Okay. The Samoans don't consider themselves the same as Congo, right? And even within that, you have the a lot of West Africans that don't consider themselves the same as someone that's from Central Africa or South Africa, man. They have very different cultures and even look different, different spirits, right? Okay? This thing is bigger than this black and white. But Esau put a blanket, a blanket over people and categorize them so he can push his propaganda and his pseudoscience. Okay, and you're gonna see this throughout this clip, man. Okay, but having this understanding of these scriptures, right, and understanding that this is your book, you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, and to all those who have ears to hear, right, that might look like other nations, right? The Lord is dealing with you. You may be, in fact, you know, a part of the elect. Now, regardless of how these other nations, these foreign Israelites that look like other people, they don't believe, you know what I'm saying? Do that means that they're going to hell? Well, first off, there's no hell. No, but the Most High has the power to save these various people that are in other nations that might look so-called Chinese or Filipino for the Philippines, or you know what I'm saying? You know, or look so-called white. Okay, so this thing is bigger than skin color. When you get the proper understanding of these scriptures, you understand that. Okay, but the Lord has to be done with you. You have to be washed from your understanding of so-called race, which is something that's made up. It is in fact made up. Okay, it comes from the hegemony of Esau, Edom, so-called white men, the Edomites. But not to digress too much. We're gonna start around the 43rd minute mark. I'm gonna let this play, and then I have a couple of scriptures lined up, and that'll be it.
Something that shows up as kind of, I don't know, what's the word? Racially biased in some cases. And I think everybody to some degree has been, can be, will be. And I think that's what happens if you start determining, again, we're going to have this Christian nation and who's going to be the Christians in charge. And so I think, I could be wrong. And this is where I want you to help me and even defend this point or defend yourself. Because I think if you're going to have an idea, I think the best thing that you have to have is good PR. Make sure that you don't have to apologize for everything. Because to be honest, Joe, there's some things that you said like, wait a second, huh?
You're not going to apologize because this is what this man believes. He believes he's right. Most I put the spirit on this man, right, to have a deep hatred towards you so-called Negroes, man. All right. Okay. I gotta get the scriptures in regards to Esau, Edom. Okay. So bear with me. Before I go on and play this clip, I wanted to get two Bible basics that we believe here in GMS of why we call so-called white men Esau, Edom. Okay. It dates back to the times of Isaac um, and his wife Rebecca. Now, this is Genesis 25th chapter. This is, if you read up, it's right after Abraham had just died. Ishmael was established. The Ishmaelites are the Arabians, and the continuation of that chosen line comes through Isaac. When you look up Abraham's life, he actually had various children with his concubine, but they were not of the chosen lineage. The chosen lineage came in Isaac. Okay, and there's a continuation of the chosen lineage. This is how all the nations are going to be blessed, because we were driven in these various nations through various captivities. Okay, this is the power of the Most High. He's going to hand select the chosen people out of various nations and bring them back. Okay, now the bulk of us have been brought over here to the Western Hemisphere. We've been it's prophesied in Jeremiah that the nation of Israel will be saved out of the land of the north. Okay, we really believe that to be North America. Okay, this region, right? This is why the transatlantic slavery happened. That system was erected for our admonishment. Okay, and the people who enslaved us were Edomites. Okay, now this is spiritually, set up by who? By Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, so let's go to Genesis 25 and 19. Okay, it says, and these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Pamdan Naram, the sister to Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife because she was burdened, and Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. Right? 2 nations was in this womb here. 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separate from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So one people shall be stronger. Right? This is going into who? This is going into Jacob being stronger than Esau. Okay? And the elder shall serve the younger. The elder was who? Was Esau. Okay, he's to serve the younger, which is who? Jacob, that lineage. Okay, and we're going to see why. We're going to see why. All right. In Genesis 27, it says, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Right? So this child came out reddish. He had reddish pigmentation. Right? Meaning he was lacking pigmentation. Right? Now, who is that? It's Esau Edom, right? The so-called white race. Okay. It says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel. Why is that? That was symbolic of what? Enmity. Okay. And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 60 years old when she bare them. Okay. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter and a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. So Esau even was a man that loved to go hunting, loved to be in the field, right? Versus Jacob, he was a plain man, dwelling in tents. You look at that word plain is the ma, which means someone who's very balanced, in looks and in spirit, morally innocent. You know what I'm saying? A person that's very, very balanced. And, Judah exemplifies that, man. Right? Your so-called Negro, the head tribe. I'm personally not of Judah. I'm Northern tribe. I just have darker complexion. But they're very, someone when you meet Jake that is well balanced, right? Or you meet a brother, what I'm saying, they got a very good head on his shoulder. Jake, and intellectual Jake is very balanced in their thoughts, their actions and their appearance. You know what I'm saying? Right? This is the economy. One depending on the spirit, another one depends on the flesh, and we're going to see that manifest in Genesis, the 27th chapter. Okay. Now I'm going to start at Genesis 27 and 37. But if you read up, Isaac had become the older and lost his sight. And on his deathbed, he wanted to bless his sons. Esau was supposed to get that blessing, but this man gave up that blessing. You know what? Before I continue, because what I'm talking about is actually here in Genesis 25th chapter. Okay, I'm gonna keep on reading on this. The spirit had it, man. The water help watch him shot. He called me before I went to Genesis 27. It says, verse 28 on Genesis 25. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob, and Jacob sought pottage. And Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with the same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. Right? So this is Jacob trying to supplant Esau. And Esau said, behold, I'm at a point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me? So he scoffed at the birthright. Like, look, man, I'm hungry. What I care about birthright? I need some food now. This is how Esau Edom has ruled the world with a very impulsive mindset, right? This mindset of individuality and self-glorification is pushed in Western culture. Okay, right, and that is exemplified here in the U.S. All right. And verse 31. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Now, was this man about to just pass out and die? No. He just disregarded his birthright for his flesh. And this is how Esau Edom has ruled the world, right? He propagated, the glorification of fulfilling lusts as being righteous. And people who are white Christian nationalists, they come with that same mindset that the Most High told them to set up a Christian nation here in America. This is what God told them to do. And it's not biblical. It's not biblical. But this is how Esau Edom rules the world, man. In a very fleshly mindset. All right. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob. And then Jacob gave Esau bread and porridge of lentils. And he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So he had disdain with basically the order of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Dude was off. He was off, man. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward, as I stated earlier, here in Genesis 27, Isaac is about to perish. He's about to die, give it to ghosts. And he wanted to bless his sons. Rebecca, with the help of Rebecca, Jacob, was able to supplant Isaac and get the birthright. Now remember, Esau sold his birthright. All right. So Jacob, which his name means to supplant, right? Got the first birthright. He got the go ahead. And that's how Judah, not Judah, but that's how Israel get down. Because the northern tribe, the so-called Latinos, know how to hustle too. That's the spirit that the Most High gave us, right? To move, be able to move and shake. Okay? Make things happen. All right? Use cleverness to get what we want versus the flesh violence like Esau Edom. Okay? Right? So after that, Esau came in after going hunting, and you can read all this, and if you want to read up, just give us a synopsis of the chapter, so I could just bring out a particular point. Esau just came back from getting some from hunting for his father, because his father loved his I believe venison, as we just read, right? And so Esau said, look, can you give me my birthright? He's like, well, I thought this was you, but it turns out it was your brothers. I don't know, what I could give you. So Esau even received a blessing too. Okay. Esau even received a blessing also. So let me read up. Genesis 27:31. And he also had made savory meat, Esau, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac, his father, said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it to me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceedingly bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath blessed and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained thee. And what shall I do unto thee, my son? And Isaac and Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shall thou live. Right? So Esau, Edom's going to rule with the sword. Okay? Right? And this man, you know, ruled over us with that sword. You know, with what? What do you do with the sword? You know, you destroy, you maim, you kill. Right? And this is what Esau, Edom has done to us. Right? Including spiritually speaking. Right? So now Esau, Edom is receiving pushback. Right? He's receiving pushback for, you know, his wickedness, right, and his wicked history, and he's making various movements to put himself back in the seat of rulership. And one way he's doing that is with so-called white Christian nationalism. Okay, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shall serve thy brother. And shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Isaac said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And there's always been enmity since this particular situation happened. Right? Even now, even today. This is why this conversation of so-called black and white still persists. Okay? Despite all the wickedness Esau Edom has done. Right? And despite him calling himself a Christian, it has not went away. It's always persisted. Okay? And we're gonna see that sword become erected in the last days, man. Okay. So that being said, I know I had it was a very lengthy intro to the video. I had to just you know lay the groundwork. So let me play this for you guys. Okay.
all sorts of atrocities to Native Americans, to Indians, and let's be honest, to each other.
Pretty extreme and interesting views, like we're about to hear right now with Brother Corey and Joel Webber. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. We're gonna put the speed at, well, let's do it in HD. Hopefully that don't mess up. Let's do the speed. Gonna put the speed at 1.25 for the sake of time. And let's go ahead and get into this. And y'all let me know y'all thoughts as we are going through this video, which I know y'all gonna do anyway. All right, fair use.
To your question, establishing all that, applying that to a nation, absolutely, they're going to be citizens. And to your point, they're going to be leaders. Of course, there are. No Christian nationalist that I'm aware of is denying that. There will inevitably, in the past, when you look at Christian history in certain nations and things like that, again, England or, or Ireland or these United States, there are leaders who made a profession, that claim to be Christian, and in the final analysis, we'll get to heaven one day, and they won't be there. We'll find out, oh, dude, that guy was a liar.
So let me ask you this, because and this is going to take us where I want to go to. I think that, and the reason why I asked, do you think America was just a nation that had a Christian wrapper around it? I think America was founded on Christian principles. Not now. For some, I think there were some people that were absolutely godly. I think there were some that were not, and there were some that were kind of just hiding in between. Because whether it be individual people or the nation, there were still ungodly atrocities that the country would do. There were those who would say that they were against slaves, but go ahead and accept it and have slaves, and then would molest or do things to their slaves. There were those who would do all sorts of atrocities to Native Americans, to Indians, and let's be honest, to each other. The reason is it's not the
Right. And what is this he's speaking on? He's speaking on the perpetual hatred that Esau Edom has had on the nation of Israel, man. You so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. This wasn't a regular slavery. So it wasn't regular slavery that we endured. Chattel slavery was far different from biblical slavery. Right, and Esau Edom, he uses these scriptures as a way to push his agenda or push his will, which his will is ultimately wickedness. What we endured as a group of people, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, man, was heinous and was very, very wicked, right? And it was committed by a group of people, which are the Edomites. Okay. Ezekiel 35:2. Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it, and say unto it, thus said Yahweh power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. That's right. So the Most High, is going to destroy Esau Edom, right? We're in that process. Babylon the Great is being destroyed right before our eyes. Okay? Right? And the ultimate destruction when he sent his son back, Yahweh Shai, to, totally eradicate that lineage. Okay? I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, because thou hast had disappointment, a perpetual hatred. Right? So the Most High has indignation towards these group of people, man, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. All right? In the time in which our iniquity, is up, we begin to repent, right? Turn back to the Heavenly Father, right? This man, Esau Edom, is going to show his fangs, but guess what? The Most High is going to intervene, okay? Now, you could use this scripture alluding to what Esau Edom did to us after the Babylonian captivity, or during the Babylonian captivity, right? By putting more hell on us. This is why Esau is, seen as, Babylon the Great in the scriptures. Well, the daughter of Babylon in the scriptures, right? Now that great whore, right? That's to rule, spoken about in Revelations, right? Is synonymous with what nation? Babylon the Great. Okay, just for edification. But let me go back to this. All right, go ahead, just let this play.
The Christian foundation, it's the demonic inside man's heart. And I think ultimately what ends up happening is it ends up being something that shows up as kind of, I don't know, what's the word? Racially biased in some cases. And I think everybody to some degree has been, can be, will be. And I think that's what happens if you start determining, again, we're going to have this Christian nation and who's going to be the Christians in charge. And so that I think I could be wrong. And this is where I want you to help me and even defend this point or defend yourself. Because I think if you're going to have an idea, I think the best thing that you have to have is good PR. Make sure that you don't have to apologize for everything. Because to be honest, Joe, there's some things that you said like, wait a second, huh?
He doesn't need good PR. He's representing his people.
Fix that. The issue about America and we weren't as bad because we didn't go out and take slaves, but we bought slaves. And so let me ask you about this comment.
$3. That's what I'm asking for you to donate right now to help me.
Forgive me.
Like our civil fathers in America, it's not as though they were hopping on ships and sailing across the Atlantic. And so the comment that I made is I said, well, the founders, right, our civil fathers in America, it's not as though they were hopping on ships and sailing across the Atlantic and going into the bush of Africa with, human-sized nets and casting them on people and kidnapping them, dragging them back onto their ships and then taking them over and exploiting them as slaves. No, we didn't go over and steal people. We went over and bought people. If we're going to condemn America, right, if we're going to rewrite history, 1619 Project, and really America, wasn't built on principles of freedom. It was built on the backs of slaves. And all that. Okay, if we're going to do that, I just think we need to be consistent. I just think we need to be fair. I don't think we should do that. But if you're going to do that, then you've got to hate. You got to hate. If you hate, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she hates America. Liberals hate America. They're not patriots. They don't even want you to fly an American flag on the 4th of July. They hate America. And all I'm saying is you need to be consistent. And if you hate, and they do, hate America, you got to hate African nations. That's my point. Because Americans went over there and bought people. And we can argue till we're blue in the face about all the things that are wrong about that. And I probably agree with you 9 out of 10 of your points. But if that's wrong, and I believe it is, but if that's wrong, then how do you defend tribe warring against tribe and the victors then enslaving?
Tribes warring. See that? See, what Ojo doesn't understand is all bigly black. This is why we don't call ourselves black. This is all black people weren't the same, right? Right? They aren't the same people, bro. Right? The Hamitic people were the ones that put us in slavery, right? The Canaanites, Jebusites, and things of that nature. Right? These are the ones who put the Israelites into slavery. Right? Okay. But this shows you again the mind frame of Esau Edom. Instead of taking responsibility, he says, look, you gotta hate those other black people over there because you guys were slaves, which were sold into slavery by other black people. Okay, it's not my fault. He speaks lawfully concerning your destruction. And again, the reason why is because it's spiritual. He speaks lawfully concerning oppression. All right. And that's really the whole movement of white Christian nationalism, to say, hey, what your forefathers done is not bad. You should be proud. Right? You should be proud. But I'm not going to get ahead of myself because I'm going to show you that they exemplify that mind frame. Okay? Now, this is Psalm 73 and 2. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped, for I was envious at the foolish. when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore, pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covered them as a garment. Right? So they're very prideful, and the violence cover them. Right? The history of Esau Edom, right? It simplifies this. And they speak, you know, in a very arrogant fashion when it comes to history. That you just seen that. Joel exemplifies this because he's an Edomite. Okay? Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. You know, speak very wickedly concerning oppression. This is what Joel, the Edomite, does. Okay, he's an Edomite. He's a heathen. Okay? Let's keep playing.
The losers and then selling them.
Okay, so this is where I was saying,
All right, now I just want to let y'all know that's where I had the problem. That's why I wanted to do this tonight. When I heard that, I said, "Oof." I'm telling you that black power that I had to suppress, that was starting to build up. Ooh. Ooh. That old black power was it was building up. It was building up. I said, I can't believe this dude got on here and he was bold with it. So I said, okay. I said, Alton, just chill. Let's see where this goes. Let's see where this goes. I said, all right. So
what is ClickUp? ClickUp is an
I will say this, Alton is hilarious. That dude's funny.
let's get back to it. I had to slow it back down because Corey sped it up, and of course I sped it up, so it just kind of made it seem like that. It was like going like really, really fast. So I had to slow it down just for a little bit. All right, okay, let's continue. Y'all, but listen, y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button. So far, 30% of you, I'm sorry, 29% of you say absolutely. 26 says not. He said in a clip saying that, hey, we just went over there and bought them. I had to read this poll real quick. All right. In the UK, any of the other places. Let's just focus on America because we're talking about Christian nationalism right here in America. The transatlantic slave trade was a horrendous period for black people.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
Y'all hit that like button.
I'm trying to get to, I'm gonna speed it up because he's talking, but I wanna get to
that like button and that notifications bell if you have just subscribed to the channel. And listen, it don't matter where you're watching from, hit the like button, please. I appreciate y'all. And partaking that poll. Let me go ahead and read this poll real quick. All right, before we get back into this, because I didn't see the results earlier. Is Christian nationalism racism? So far, 29% of you say absolutely. 26 says not at all, and 45% of you guys says that you are not sure. You are not sure. All right, let's continue. Fair use, Brother Corey. Don't strike my channel. All right, here we go.
say when I saw that, Joel, I'm like, okay, you have to fix that. Can you explain that? Because these are just some of the clips that are just out there. And in all fairness, I think it's just best to give you an opportunity to say, okay, this is what I meant. This is what I'm trying to say. The clip didn't fully encapsulate what I was trying to say. So, can you explain that?
Same thing with the 19th Amendment. Happy to explain. First, I just for clarity, so I understand what I'm explaining. Could you help me in telling me what you see wrong with that?
Well,
bro,
Why are you surprised? Yes, this is what this man believes. right? This is what he believes. I'm getting another one for you guys, man. You know. Uh Now this is Zechariah 11:5, who possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they say, and they that sell them say, Blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich. And their own shepherds pity them not. Right? So Esau even doesn't have any pity over what has transpired, right? Between his people and our people. In fact, he believes that it was for our benefit. Okay? I'm going to prove it to you guys.
He said that he wants Corey to explain to him why it's a problem with what he said in the clip, saying that, hey, we just went over there and bought them. It wasn't like we was rounding them up. Bro, I mean, the transatlantic slave trade, let's just cover here in America, because that's what we're talking about. We're not going to talk about the islands. We're not going to talk about, in the UK, any of the other places. Let's just focus on America, because we're talking about Christian nationalism right here in America. The transatlantic slave trade was a horrendous period for Black people in this country, hands down.
Latinos and Native Americans also cannot forget that, because the natives, the so-called natives and the so-called Latinos endured a very horrific form of slavery, right? Okay. So us, the true Israelites, yes, we've endured something very heinous. All right.
Hands down. Now, as Christians, we understand that man's heart is inherently wicked. And if man can kind of find a way to wiggle his way through sin and to kind of justify his sin a little bit, we'll slip into.
This was not just one person. This was a group of people who done these heinous things, right? And even in Christianity has rationalized, been compliant with racism. Okay. Jamar Tipsley goes into this very very often. Okay. Other reforms, other reformed denomination too, by the way. Okay. If I'm not mistaken. All right. These people, even in Christianity, have been, on the side of oppression, those that are so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, despite of their conviction in so-called Christ. Okay? And we're going to see the resurgence of that raw Edomite spirit, right? Remember what we just read in Genesis, is the 27th chapter. This man has been blessed with the sword, and he's going to utilize that blessing in a very horrific way very soon.
Some stuff. And we'll do some heinous stuff. I mean, the people of Israel did it back in the day. When we read the Bible, we just saw how Israel, they did good sometimes, then they slipped back into evil, and they did good, and then they slipped back into evil, and they did some really heinous things throughout the.
What's interesting about the scriptures, if you look at the Israelites, they were blessed when they committed genocide, and that was okay in the scriptures. Why is that? Because they were set to be the rulers of the world. Went until decadence that, the Most High began to punish these various people. Think about that, man. Okay?
History of the people of the time of the Israelites. So we know that the sin nature is there inherently. But to kind of downplay the fact that Americans bought slaves, brought them here to America, and did some of the most horrendous things to some of these slaves imaginable. That's the problem, Joel. That's the problem. So the problem isn't whether you threw nets over them and snatched them up like we saw in Roots. The problem is that slavery was horrible, period. And to try to make it seem like that you downplaying it, it's like now people are starting to be like, okay, well, hold on, this Christian nationalism thing, maybe we really need to start keeping y'all up under a microscope, because it seems like that y'all trying to, purport this low-key racism. Well, we didn't really catch them, we just bought them. You thought you was doing black people a favor?
Yes, that's precisely what they believe. Now, this is Mr. K Dub, man. Poor K Dub. Poor guy. He wrote a song about his being racially attacked by people in his own denomination. Supposedly Reformed Baptist. Joe is a Reformed Baptist. A guy who he was speaking about, the guy that I'm going to show you a clip of, I should say, that vote, because I'm unpacking. Let me slow down. That K-Dub is going to cite in this particular clip that I'm about to show you. His name is Wesley Todd. He goes to the same church as Joe Webbin. Okay, and here in this clip, K-Dub shows a very interesting tweet that he got off of X. Okay, that he got off of X in regards to slavery. I'm gonna let you play for
I say a white boy summer. Oh, I know the code. This ain't a new thing. It's time to expose. Didn't we see the same thing from the woke? I said it back then that I think it's a joke. So you guys may think we're being again, all my references were not to be just comical, but I'm actually quoting them, referencing to them. Like you even go now on Right Response Ministries, you type in the word white boy summer. This a big movement coming out there about the restoring back the white identity, the identity of the white man, right? And white, you even have this phrase, white Anglo-Saxon Protestantism, right? There's a big push now for guys really, I would say going beyond just proud of their heritage, but actually, superseding to others, right? And so, I don't know.
You think, just call it what it is. The racist, bro.
If you have more to say about that.
To say that he says that culture is the best culture.
Right.
Like this is so it's not just, we're just proud of our heritage and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just not what we're saying. Mm-hmm. But when you have this mindset that we're a superior culture, that's a problem.
Yeah, and I have a citation for that. Matter of fact, let me see if I can bring that up here. Let me bring that up because we've let me see. Oh, I think this is it.
You got it?
I'm gonna read this for you guys. He says, this is Michael Spangler. You know what? Forgive me. He's talking about Wesley Todd at the beginning of his song. So sorry about that misquote. It says, Michael Spangler says, why do they keep insisting that belief in racial superiority and inferiority means we've denied salvation to inferior races. You see that? 19th century Southern Christians believed in white supremacy, and it's just a fact, and were more zealous and successful in evangelizing blacks than any anti-racist today. This is what they believe. They believe that you so-called Negroes are inferior and the superior race, so-called white people, and they evangelize, right? In the 19th century, they converted you over to plantation Christianity, and it's a good thing. You should be happy because you was over there swinging on trees, right? Or running with bones in your noses, you know, getting into fights with one another, okay? And, it's better that you be servants unto us than living in that charade that you call Africa, boy. So be happy. This is their mindset, right? Anything that's coming up against that mindset, they demonize, right? And try to ostracize with their ideologies. And this is going to become something that's manifested in the flesh. They are going to get more violent. We're telling you that spiritually speaking, this is happening because the economy that ultimately the Most High made of Jacob versus Esau is being played out right before our eyes. And he doesn't feel sorry one bit for you, boy. You could be a nice one, a nice boy. You could have, be as unintimidating as possible. You be as smart as you want to. No, they don't like you. And it's a substantial amount of them that believe this way. And guess what? They are ready to ride. Okay? That's my last one, man. The point being made. Jeremiah 50, verse 6. My people have been lost sheep. The shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten the resting place. Our people, have been led astray. Ultimately, this goes into how in the ancient times, the various people that were leaders of the Israelites, the shepherds, if you will, were constantly engaged in wicked activities that induced the Most High to, allow them to go into severe captivity. We've seen this numerous times in the scriptures. The Assyrian captivity, the Babylonian captivity. Even before that, man, the various captivity that we were underneath the various Semitic nations, right? The Greek captivity, which was very severe. The Roman captivity, which was very severe. We were spread into various nations, okay? Fled to the western coast of Africa, right? We were sold into slavery. Okay. Prior to that, during the Assyrian captivity, the northern tribe, the so-called Latino natives, right? They were totally taken out of the land, okay, of Samaria, placed into Assyria. So they sailed to a land that which nobody lived in or dwelt in here in the Americas, right? When Esau Edom came over here, man, they put them into hell. Okay? Complete hell. Ultimately, this came from our wickedness. Okay. Esau Edom comes along, right? Places into severe captivity. He has the mindset of, look, we haven't done anything wrong. These guys were offending against the Lord. They were living heathenistic, right? We gave you guys a chance for civilization. You should be happy to be under Christianity, boy. This is what he believes. Verse 7. All that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against Yahweh, the true name of the Heavenly Father, the habitations of justice, even Yahweh, the hope of their fathers. You see that? They say, look, this is a good thing that was brought into captivity. So they can learn about Jesus and God, which is so spiritual because that's, in fact, our book. Right? Why is that? Because we offended against the Heavenly Father. Okay, so we were placed into captivity. All right. But going back to the mindset of Esau Edom, he's cool with that. He thinks what happened to us is a good thing. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna leave it there. Point was made. All praise to my Heavenly Father. His name is Yahweh by Shemel Shah by Shalom.